Shark MMA Show. All right, guys, we're back on the show. Today I got a special guest, Garrett Monaco. How you doing today? Hopefully I said your last name right?
No, you're good, man. Thank you. I'm doing great. Yeah, it's like the country. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's a nice last name. Is that Italian?
Yeah, it is Italian, like Del Monaco.
There you go. Another fellow Goomba on the show.
Exactly.
I got wearing these. Normally I don't wear glasses, but my eyes are shot at the end of the day, man. So how's it going?
I'm good. I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. It's funny you say last name. I've gotten everything. I've gotten. I sound like a. I've gotten Hollywood, where I've gotten. You sound like a spy. I don't have a problem. Probably both are fine with me. It checks out. I'm doing well. I just got done hosting my own show with a sports show with Slapstick Sports with Adam Nutter and Jessica Draza.
Yeah.
Just got off that.
You just finished it like this now?
Yeah, we do the recording and then we post it the next day. We're posting it tomorrow. So I'm doing well, man. I was doing comedy, podcasting. So yeah, I appreciate you asking. Yeah.
Yeah, man, no problem. Now, in addition to your podcast, you also do live shows, right?
Yeah. I tell jokes, so that's my thing. I tell jokes on stage.
Do you have any upcoming shows you want to mention to people?
Absolutely. Please come down to if you're in the area, South Jersey, the Flying Fish Brewery. I'll be doing some live comedy there on September 24th. So if you're in the Philly area, it's a good spot. I have another show coming up in November, but I got a concrete date. But absolutely, yeah. See me then. Whenever this episode does come out, I'll be locked and loaded for any of your potential viewers to check me out there.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's good, man.
Well,
how long you been doing a comedy thing now for?
A little over 2 years.
Okay.
I'm closer to 3. But I've been podcasting for a little bit less than that. But big. I was just really happy on the show because I'm talking about the podcast a lot. I don't want to promote my own stuff too much. But big. I've been into MMA since I think I'm longer than 10 years at this point.
Adam said that you're really into MMA.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's one thing, with my show, we talk sports, but we MMA might get 15 minutes. So I'm stoked that, we have this show going on. I can, go a little more in depth or, hear what, have a good conversation with you about the sport.
Yeah, of course. Now I got to ask your opinion. I don't know if I didn't pay for it, but obviously I saw the highlights on YouTube.
Right.
So what are your thoughts on these? What do you call these? Thriller fights, these boxing matches? They just had Belfort fighting Holyfield, and what was the other one?
That's Silva.
Silva fighting Tito Ortiz. What's your take on that?
I typically get these fights. I don't really put any money for them, but I still feel like I'm getting ripped off. I mean, these fights are. I mean, that's a little more that's the whole thing with we got YouTubers now trying to be boxers, and we saw that a couple weeks ago. The Jake Paul Woodley. I think that's on the extreme end. These Triller fights with Vitor Belfort, they actually have a little bit more skill going into them. So they're older guys fighting a different sport, which is interesting. But it starts getting into this kind of fusion of it's boxing, but it's if you look at it, it's wrestling. It makes a little bit more sense. Professional wrestling, it's just a bunch of hype, and it's still real fighting, but it's still they just keep it kind of. I mean, the politics of the fight game. You know what I'm saying? It just means it's people just building up fights and starting up feuds, just trying to make a bunch of money. So I think when I view it like that, I like them more, I guess. But at the same time, if I'm gonna watch boxing, I'd rather watch people actually know how to box.
Yeah, yeah. But I don't know. I kind of felt bad for Evander Holyfield with Belfort, right? Like, I think, I mean, I mean, I'm sure he had to have seen the warm up, and like when he was falling, I think there's something wrong with his equilibrium, because like even during his workouts, like when he would throw the hook, he would fall down, and then Belfort just like humbled him.
Yeah, no,
Like a little savage.
yeah. When you're missing part of your ear, you start losing your balance a little bit.
Yeah. So I thought, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he should have. I don't know. I usually don't like to say go light on a guy, but I mean, the guy's like 58 years old, and he's like he pummeled the shit out of him.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like the Tito Ortiz Silva fight. That was a little bit. You know, they're both the same age.
More level, and Tito just had it coming.
Obviously, you know,
Right.
Silva's a little bit more skilled than Tito. That's why he got knocked out in the first round, and it was pretty slick how he did it.
Oh, it was awesome. It was great, and it was whatever kind of punches. They certainly weren't Huntington Beach bad boy punches. They were, I don't know what the hell they were. They were like chicken wings. They were bad, and Silva just cut through all of it. No BS. Just, you know, tuck and roll real quick. It was clean, man. I like that knockout a lot. Yeah, definitely the Holyfield was.
Yeah, supposedly that was Silva's second fight in boxing, so he's on 2-0 now. He's doing pretty good. Now, what I find amazing, and I'm going to use Tito Ortiz as an example, right?
Please, yeah.
Back in the day, you know, he was kind of like the man, right? He was like the beast. He was beating the shit out of everybody.
He got a lot of people into the sports, especially when he had the flame trunks. You remember those? He had the aesthetic down. He had like the look, like, oh, that's an MMA fighter. And you watch him fight Chuck Liddell. You keep going. Yeah,
and then all of a sudden he starts like, I don't know, I guess his injuries caught up to him or something. Then he starts like going downhill. But he's definitely on something because he never looks out of shape, right? Like, he's had like back surgery on his spine. He had neck surgery. He's got knee replacement. He's had shit done to his knees.
I think it was Jennifer Aniston that really fucked him up. I'm sorry, I'm not sure if we could.
Yeah, I think it's a porn star. Politics, not on this show.
Yeah.
I stay away from that. I'll probably be at my other show. I'll probably get more into that because I really don't follow politics, you know?
Yeah.
But I just find it amazing, like how you kind of see it when they hit like 30, they kind of go downhill, especially if they've been in the sport in a while. But I really don't know why these guys are still fighting. Like Belfort, I could see. You know,
he's
didn't make that much money. Tito fought Bellator. Do you follow Bellator at all too? I stopped once they switched. You still follow it now? When they went to Showtime?
Paramount now. Yeah.
Because they went from Paramount to Danzig, now they're on Showtime, and I stopped because I keep getting tired of.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Showtime.
Yeah, but I mean, there was a couple of fights that I've been missing. I've been dying to see on those. I don't know if you saw the last one that they got. What was it?
They had a new guy that was. Bellator is good when UFC keeps doing fight night cards and you can't start not recognize people. That's when Bellator will start throwing up a good pay-per-view.
Yeah. Do you watch the PFL at all too?
No.
That's on ESPN. Yeah. So what's your take on the well, I guess we could start with, I'm going to ask your opinion before we get to UFC Fight Night 193. Although this is streaming live now, but it's before the big main event. What is it that's coming up? What was it, like 266? Right? UFC 266 with Ortega and Volkanovski. I wanted to get your input on that, because we're going live. I'll talk a little bit now, but then we'll go more into Santos. got Alexander versus Brian Ortega. What's your opinion on that one?
So Brian Ortega is, he used to, I forget his old hairdo. But he was bald now, or at least if he grew his hair back, whatever. Last time I saw him,
he grew it back. He grew it back.
Oh, good for him.
It's not long. It's average. It's like a little bit longer than mine, actually.
Oh, okay. Wonderful hair.
Yeah.
He
a little bit longer than yours, actually.
Probably. Whatever. Yeah. Thank you. Brian Ortega's striking he only took 2 years off. His last bout against Korean Zombie was like something else. Completely dominated that fight. Even though I think it went off 5, I believe. And Korean Zombie's a tough motherfucker. Ortega, he changed a lot. He took 2 years off. And I think he fought Holloway, and Holloway really put on a beating on him.
Yep.
And he changed his game a lot. So that's UFC
266. Yeah, it's on the September 25th.
Oh, Volkanovski. Oh, that dude. He used to be a rugby player. He used to be a big guy. He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He another very impressive. He broke the. I always like to talk about the auras of just someone being undefeated, and Holloway had that for a while when he's just dominating the division. He's looked untouchable, and then he went to fight Poirier, and then Poirier made him look beatable. But good props to him for going up a division, and then Volkanovski, I would say Poirier definitely beat him up more. Volkanovski, the fight's been kind of close, and Volkanovski kind of pulled away towards the end of both of them. So definitely the winner. But he definitely, for that division, he owns the division now. I always used to say Max Holloway's undefeated. Or not undefeated. He just has that aura of undefeatedness. He definitely broke that. All props to him. Very athletic, fast moving. That's a tough one against Ortega. That's a I'm probably gonna have to go with Volkanovski.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd really like
either one to win. I'm just leaning towards a little bit more towards Ortega because I just think he's a bigger guy. I think he's definitely good off his back.
Right.
Really good off his back. He's other than Oliveira, he's probably think of the last few fighters that you can see that submit people off their back. Right? It's usually Oliveira or Ortega. Everybody else, no matter how good they are at jiu-jitsu, it's usually they get to the guy's back or
you're a jiu-jitsu guy, right?
From the top. Yeah, I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, yeah.
So you know nuts and bolts. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very rare in MMA lately to see a submission off a person's back. So I find that very impressive. So that's what I'm saying. Ortega, if he's on his back, he's good.
Right.
If he's on top, he's good. If he gets your back, you're fucked.
Yeah. Well,
he's got pretty good hands, and his takedowns aren't that bad. Alexander, I think he's more like a wrestler, but with good stand-up.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. I like them both. I really don't care who wins.
Right.
But I don't know. That's my takeaway on it.
I think it's probably gonna be a stand-up match. I think it's what's gonna come down to because I think you said Volkanovski's more of a wrestler kind of guy, but I think he actually has good takedown defense. I think that's what makes him a threat. And I like that you mentioned Ortega's because he does have great takedowns, and we do see the sport evolving a lot. And back then, when people you got these slick submissions, good jiu-jitsu guys, a lot of times they're actually not. And I'm not saying this is the case anymore, but a lot of times they just weren't good at taking people down and getting them to that where they need to get them to get the job done. And it's cool when someone like Ortega who also has hands, but is also good at taking people down. You know, getting the fight where he needs to get it to be at. You want to see like a triangle choke? Is that what you're?
He's really good. He's
Yeah.
He's got the Dars choke. The only other guy that was good is who's that? Oh man, I can't think of his name right now. He's just been on a losing streak too. Oh man, he fought Ganji and got his ass handed to him.
You're talking about the spinning kick guy, or
hold on, let me just.
was it Gaethje's last fight? Tony Ferguson.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
because my brain just had a fart right there, and I'm like,
a lot of
that guy?
names.
Yeah, that's Tony Ferguson. Up to his last two fights, he was another guy that was. You get him on his back, you gotta watch it. If he
I wanted to
gets
see him go
any
against
chance he gets on your neck, you're done. You know, but then I got one more fight on the card for you, and then we'll get to the fight night 193. What are your thoughts on Nick Diaz coming back? They're fighting Robbie Lawler.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be it. I've seen the first one. That's a classic.
Yeah,
that was before I got into MMA. I think I got into MMA when I'm trying to think. Regardless, the fight itself, that's a classic one. If you ever, I'm guessing you've seen it. And that's Diaz.
I saw it when I was on when I came live. That's all I am. I've seen. There were very few UFCs I missed. I think the only ones I missed were a very handful. Like especially because like I used to watch it back in the day when it was illegal. And my friend used to get like an illegal box to watch it.
Yeah, like a VHS.
Yeah, so we used to go to his house because his parents had it.
What do you like better, the old days or the new days?
In terms of fights?
Yeah, quality of fights. Just in terms of stylistic matchups.
See, my friend watches this. Who's also been on the show, Zane. Here are my thoughts. I think I like it better in some ways now because of the skill sets. I mean, it's amazing how the athleticism and the techniques evolved, right? But and I also, which he'll disagree with, I like the fact that they added rounds in because part of me, I like to look out for the fighters because if I like the guy, I like to see him fight longer. He's an asshole, I don't give a shit. Whereas my friend Zane, he will argue, no, it's better when it was nothing was allowed except. I mean, you could still kick in the balls and gouge the eyes. You just got a little fine. Like he likes that. But I'm like, yeah, but I don't know. I just like to see the fighters have longevity. I don't know what it is, why I think like that, but I do get the point. I think they and I think if those changes were never made, people wouldn't be watching it because I find it very funny. The same people who watch it now, when I asked them back in the day, and like in the early 2000s, they'd be like, "What the hell are you watching? This is savage. This is like bullshit." Now they're watching it. You know, now it's on ESPN. Although I do think the fights have gone down in some respects since they've been on UFC. I thought the cards were a little better when they were off, when they were off ESPN. But I like the fact that it is on ESPN because the fighters they're getting exposed more to a more worldwide audience.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what I miss is the tournaments, which Bellator still does.
Back in Pride.
Occasionally, like when they do the Grand Prix, like Pride, like you fight more than one fight in the night. But now with the regulation, they split it up. Like the first round is 2 minutes. And if you win, you fight later in the night and you do 3 rounds. I meant minutes. I meant 2 rounds and then 3 rounds. They split it up. You You're only allowed to do 5 rounds in one night.
Right.
That I miss, and then I would like to see them do more what Bellator does. Although I can't keep up with all this, like UFC, Bellator 1, and all this shit. I can't keep. It's just too much. I'm not a couch potato. But where they fight fighters from other organizations, like the Bellator will have people from one come over and fight in a Grand Prix. It just makes it. And I like the fact that Bellator pays their fighters more. I like the way the PFL does it, because if you're a nobody and they do a tournament, it's still a tournament style, but they have like points. Like the quicker you knock out the guy, the more points you go. It's like the playoffs. They got regular seasons, semifinals, and finals.
Right.
If you get to the finals, even if you're a nobody, you earned your spot because you had to fight every couple of weeks. You got $1 million, which is, if I were to go in there right now and fight Alexander because I'm a nobody, the most I'll get is 100,000, and that would be like including my $50,000 bonus. If I knock him out, or if I fight in PFL, I get my $1 million, even if I'm a nobody, because they don't care. So it's weird because it's just amazing the amount of talent out in general. But I see it. Not just in the world of MMA, but also in the realm of jiu-jitsu. It's night and day from when I did it to the guys that train now. It's just advanced so much.
A big trip.
But yeah. So getting back. What do you? I mean, you just saw it that one time. What are your thoughts? Do you think Diaz will be able to do it again and knock out Lawler, or what?
Yeah.
And I'll give you my opinion.
Yeah, I was curious because he's old guard. That's why I was asking what we thought about old UFC. Nick.
Yes, but he's a Diaz brother, dude.
Yeah.
And he's more crazier than Nate.
Yeah.
He's more crazier than Nate, dude.
Bro, that's what we had. That's who we had.
He was a world champion.
Yeah.
He was a world champion in Strikeforce. So I'll give you that.
fight against,
so was Robbie Lawler, but
yeah.
Robbie Lawler left the UFC. I don't remember when he went. I think he got his hip busted. He went over to Strikeforce and became a Strikeforce champion before he became a UFC champion.
Yeah, I like.
I'm looking forward to it. I know that whoever you go to watch this, you have to get there early because they sell it out. I don't know why, but they do. But it's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I like. I'm just gonna stick with Diaz because I think he has better mileage than Lawler now at this point. Even though both Diaz brothers, I think, show signs of punch drunk, as they call it. I think Lawler's has been in more bad fights than Diaz right now. And just off that, I'm sticking with Nick because I think he's had a long break. He might have some ring rust, but at least from what I've seen, I just think he's just in a better spot to take this kind of fight. Lawler has not. His last appearances have not been good for him.
That's true. I kind of lean a little bit more towards Lawler only because he's got less ring rust. So that's my opposite thought, but we won't know until it happens,
I love that the fight is happening though. A good rematch. It's just a fun. Yeah, I was stoked about it. You can ask Adam. He was like, "No, dude, like, so what? Like, they're like, oh, who's gonna watch him fight?" I'm like, "All right, dude. Like, I don't know. I just want to see him fight again."
The Diaz brothers there's like a Facebook group for them. They got like 20. I think it's like 20 million people belong.
They're iconic.
It's like some large number of people belong to it. I post my Facebook posts on there for the podcast, so I know it's huge, and it's just the Diaz brothers Facebook page.
That's one thing I noticed in the old days. There's more room for people to build personality, and I was like talking about the aura of people seeming undefeated. Like you had more people win longer, like Anderson Silva. Like nowadays, the sport's changed where people aren't champion for as long, and there aren't as many. Like you might have Sean O'Malley and Conor McGregor, but it's not as frequent as people as it used to be, with a bunch of faces being, I guess, more. There's more competition. It's just tougher now. It's harder to get a name out there. you have to be the showboaty business person to get your face. Back then, it used to be like, oh yeah, I know Chuck Liddell, I know Tito.
There's more people, so that's a good point. Now,
Right.
what do you think? One more thing, and then I'll let you go. What do you think about the for UFC Fight Night? Just the main card we'll focus on. Like, what are your thoughts on the main card? You got Thiago Santos versus Johnny Walker.
Oh,
two long guys. They're fucking tall. These guys are both tall, man.
They're like heavyweights, man. I just love this fight because it's just. I hope it's fireworks. I hope it's not one of those fights where it's. I don't think it's going to be. It's not like a Stephen Thompson versus that British dude, Till, where it's like two technical strikers where they have too much respect for each other. These guys are brawlers. These guys are people that fucking. They're both the spinning type of Brazilian guy, throwing spinning kicks, going out there, trying to get the KO. It's good. On paper, it should be a really exciting fight. Santos had a close one with Jones. It's just I like it. I like this event.
Yeah, I'm gonna say maybe one more comment and then let you go. I'm wondering if it goes to the ground. If it goes to the ground, only based on what I've seen, even though he's not great, maybe Johnny Walker. Because that last time, I think he's trained with TriStar Gym. Last time I saw him fight. So that would be interesting if he pulls that off. But who never knows? I don't know how good his takedowns are. I know the guy took him down, and you saw little improvements with his jiu-jitsu. I mean, he was able to get out of a lot of submissions. But yeah, that should be pretty cool, man.
Right. It's like having good defensive jiu-jitsu. That's also very important in these fights, is being able to. I don't know. I typically seen both these guys be people that like live by the sword, die by the sword. I think they're all KO, TKO kind of guys. Something like these kinds of fights, grappling does. It's like what I was talking about earlier with when you have two great grapplers, the striking will make a difference. When you got two great strikers, once they start clinching up, and whoever knows their best, and if it hits the ground, you can get ground and pound in there. They're both threats. You wouldn't. I'd be afraid to wrestle either of them. They probably just beat your skull and ground and pound.
Yeah, man, they're both big dudes, man. I wouldn't want to fight them.
No, not motherfuckers, dude.
Yeah. Well, anyway, man, it was great having you on the show. We got to have you back. And
awesome. I appreciate it, man.
It's a wrap for now. And then for anybody that's watching this, don't forget to watch me. I usually air on Saturdays at 3, but we're a little early this week. But you can always watch my live streams on my website. And the new podcast episodes usually go out on Sunday, unless there's for a big fight, like I'm doing for 266. I usually put it on a Thursday. All right, guys. So stay tuned. Thanks for the support. And don't forget to go to www.markthesharkshow.com if you want to be on the show. Make a donation, buy some hoodies and T-shirts to help support the podcast. And if you're interested in having your name mentioned on the podcast or an ad run, become a sponsor. It's all detailed there on the website. Just go to become a sponsor page, and that's it. All right, guys. Check you guys out next week.
All right.